Hello and welcome to this week's vlog, I guess. And it's funny because I'm not shooting this at the beginning of the week. I am shooting this on Sunday. I am spending a bit of time today just doing a bit of work and getting things ready ahead of next week, simply because Monday for me is going to be a busy day, and I didn't know if I was going to have time to shoot some stuff. So I just wanted to get it done now ahead of the week. So next week, I think is going to be the week that we are done in terms of creating the product itself. Pretty much there, which has been long awaited and probably thousands of hours now. Which, you know, it's been a process, and I don't think it's going to be one that stops even when it is ready and we launch and you know we start to actually run the business. We're always going to be continuing to build and improve on the product, because I think as a business owner, you should never stop perfecting or improving on the product, especially as like a service business owner. Like, you can't just put something out there or deliver a service and keep it at that level. I think it always needs to be something that you continually to build. Because, like, I think it was Hormozy that I heard this from, and I think he sort of said that someone else said it. But regardless, you sell if you can't market, and you market if you can't build product, right? So, like, essentially what I want to do is build a product that is so good that we don't actually need to sell and market. It's just like builds, or it compounds itself on word of mouth. And I think that a service business should do that, or should try to optimize to do that, like in whatever market you're in. Like, if you can deliver something that is so good and generates the results that your client wants, then and kind of over delivers on the expectation, then the product itself or the service itself and the business is going to naturally grow, because people are going to tell people and they'll tell people and they'll tell people and so on. So for me, the reason that I haven't just gone directly to market and started something and try and like figure it out is because I actually wanted to build something that was really good immediately, and I'm confident that we've done that now. But then into the future, I want to make something that is so good it kind of like over delivers. However, I'm also very aware that there is a product market fit that we need to actually get, right? So we need to make sure that the thing that we're selling is what people want. It's presented in a way that people want, and we can sell it as such. Because ultimately, I could sit here for the rest of eternity and continue to build what I think is the best product in the world. And then when we actually take it to market, there's tweaks or there's deliverability issues or there's things that we haven't accounted for, right? So I've really tried to create something that I think people are going to find a massive, massive amount of value in. And then moving into the future, we will just build on this to over deliver and make it even better. So yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway. So yeah, I'm recording this on a Sunday because I don't know what time I'm going to have tomorrow or the beginning of the week to record and stuff. The week coming, we are going to, like I say, like finalize the product and build out things like our onboarding processes, and a little bit of our back end. And if I can, I will show you what that will look like and the things that we're kind of doing to do that. Because I think as a service business, like, your onboarding is the first point in which a client pays you money and you are delivering something that they have paid for, right? So I think like onboarding and putting that like client success structure in place is really important for any service business. So I will try and show you as much of that as I can, if that is what we actually get done this week. So anyway, that's all for me at the moment. Hopefully there'll be lots and lots to show you and hopefully teach and give value about as we go through this week, but I'll keep you updated anyway. So yeah, have a good one, and I will see you as we progress through the week. to the documentation building the business. So Tuesday today, had a busy morning with sorting out sort of content and bringing it all into one place. A little bit more sort of recording that I've been doing as well, ahead of the launch, I guess. But I've just been out with my accountant and grabbed a coffee just ahead of the new business because, and I think this was sort of something that I wanted to put across there because it's actually a really important point that a lot of business owners overlook, which is you need to understand how you're going to structure paying yourself from your business, right? And if there's one thing that I've learned through building other businesses, being the sole director, having other partners, is knowing how you are going to take money out of the business and when you're going to be taking that money out of the business as well. Because, and I say when, right? Because that's assuming that you're going to make a profit. But obviously, ideally, we want our businesses to succeed, and therefore you're going to want to take money out somehow. Now, my situation at the moment is that I obviously run stuff with individual members, and I do a few other bits of like consulting and bits and pieces as well. But my sole income moving forwards should be the business, right? It should be strategy one and what we're doing there. So I thought it was really important to have a meeting with my accountant to put a couple of things in place before we really like push forwards with it. So when and where and how will I be drawing dividends from the company? How does the structuring of personal income from other stuff that I'm doing look like, right? Do I run that through a sole trader? Do I set up another limited company? Do we just bulk it all into one place? What does that look like from a tax perspective? And you know, as a director of a company, it's really important to understand that for the most part, you're probably not going to be on PAYE, right? So it's how much money do I need to be setting aside? How often? What does that look like? What, if you are on PAYE, what sort of tax band am I going to be in? And all those other bits and pieces that are going to be important, right? They're boring, but HMRC is not someone to really fuck with, right? So we wanted to just make sure that was all set up and structured correctly before going forward. So if you are currently running a business or thinking about running a business, I would recommend getting a really switched on accountant, and one that is going to work with you moving forwards, as opposed to an accountant that is just going to do an end of year, you know, statutory accounts, that sort of stuff, and say good job, right? Because that's not helpful, right? It's a lagging indicator about whether we're making money, whether we're doing the right things, that sort of stuff. I want an accountant who is going to give me leading indicators, or at very least give me very timely financial information. So not only can I make personal financial decisions, but also to make business financial decisions, right? So that's something that has really been abundantly clear to me after the last 8 to 10 years in business. I've gone through like very corporate stuffy, fairly shit accountants. I've gone through smaller accountancy practices because I thought they would be better, but just couldn't keep up with demand or what we wanted. They definitely weren't giving me sort of information. I've had independent financial advisors, I've had CFOs like jump in, and really like there's been things that like work, there's been things that don't work, but for me, like having someone who is like properly switched on and understands what I need and what I want to make those business decisions is really, really important. So yeah, so that's my my tidbit of advice, okay? But today for me, like obviously like work is one thing, but then I've also like I say been having those conversations with my accountant to get stuff ready and in place ahead of the launch and ahead of actually going all in with this. So that's what Tuesday looks like. Now I'm off driving home to do some more work. I've got a couple of client calls this afternoon, and then I will be diving back into pretty much prep and writing and content and that sort of stuff pulling things together for the launch. So anyway, that is that, and I'll see you soon. So, taking a bit of a break out from the day-to-day at the moment to jump into making content. I try and factor in a bit of time every week to make content, so that'd be reels, YouTube videos. I'll sit and I'll try and like write out content ready for the week ahead. So at the moment I spend 3 hours a week, so try to on a Wednesday do like 12:30 to 3:30, something like that, and make YouTube videos, reels, like I say, write content for LinkedIn, for Facebook, that sort of stuff. And what this does is it allows me to get it all done in like one chunk and know that it's ready and it's done, right? So I haven't got to go into the week ahead thinking, what am I going to post today, or what am I going to do, or should I do this video, or should I do this? I need to edit this. I need to, when I've got so much on from a business perspective, now and into the future, I don't want to be thinking, God, what content am I going to put out, or what should I write, or what it's like. You're sat there behind your phone thinking, shit, what should I do? So that's why I kind of condense it into this. And I think it's just important to schedule that on your calendar so that you've got some level of consistency, right? Like, I don't think consistency is a matter of having to sit and do things every single day, but it is the preparation, right? It's the planning. If you're consistent with your preparation, you don't have to be consistent every day because you've already done it, right? So for me, I've always struggled with scheduling time to do the preparation because I'm someone as well who bounces around from task to task. But since I've actually put these 3 preparation hours in place, in terms of consistency with content and volume of content, has really worked for me. So this is my 3 hours of content creation, in which I'm going to do a couple of YouTube videos to go out over the next couple of weeks, along with a couple of reels as well. And then once that's done, I'll begin to edit them. Normally I do a bit more sort of editing over the weekend because I want to. And I'll also start writing out some of the content as well. So that's what I do. That works for me. It's not something for everybody. I know some people struggle with being creative kind of on the spot. But for me, so what I do is, let me show you. So I basically draft out, I don't know if you can really see that. I kind of draft out what my YouTube video is going to look like. And then I also then put them into a spreadsheet like that. I can't really see, it's not really that exciting. But I'll put them into a spreadsheet so I can come into these recording sessions and I can just pull it up and go okay, I need to talk about this and just go through that. Equally, what I'll do in these 3 hours is I'll take some ideas for next week, and I'll because whilst I'm here and I'm doing stuff, I'll think that would be a good video, or that would be a good piece of content, or whatever. And I'll just kind of jot a note down, and so I can make that next week as well. Equally, conversations I've had with clients or people on the phone, I'll also think, that's something other people would find beneficial, so I'll pop that into my content plan as well. So that's pretty much how I do that and what works for me. So yeah, I'm gonna get on with it. So, end of another week. It's been a busy one this week. Lots and lots of stuff going on. Lots of client calls and stuff this week with my mentoring clients, consultant clients, whatever you want to call it, because they're getting crazy results at the moment. Lots and lots of big contracts coming in. Which is all well and good, but then we've got to work out the setups and all that sort of stuff. But it's all good. Lots of conversations from that side. Me specifically, it's been another busy week. I'm pretty much now all but there with content and the product and bits and pieces. We're now just sort of like organizing that, ready to roll out, but pretty much there, which is exciting. Because it's been a long old sort of slog to get that together. We're well over 2,000 hours now, like well over 2,000 hours in terms of like work that's gone into it. So to kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel is good. I'm also very aware, like, this is the first business I've built that I haven't directly jumped into just selling like a service or something. Because the businesses before, it was like, okay, find someone to sell something to. Like, the service is pretty straightforward, like, let's go. Whereas this business that I'm going to be launching requires a lot more prep. And there's a balance with that, like if you're doing prep before a launch, because I was talking to my partner last night, and like, I could continue on now for like another 6 months or another year, right? And making tweaks and edits and changes and more stuff and this and that. But you need to get your product, your service, your business to a point of an MVP, right? A minimum viable product where it can hit the market and people will buy it. And I think we're at that point now. As much as I would love to sit and add a bunch of like other stuff onto it or into it, we need to get to that point now where we hit the market with something, and then we can continue to add to it. Because about 2-3 weeks ago now, building the product, and it kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole, and there was like this whole other like element, and I was like, shit, like that kind of needs to be incorporated, but is probably just as much work as what I've done so far. And I think it's very easy to like slide down that rabbit hole of like, I need to do more, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to change that, I need to. But ultimately, if you spend too much time doing those things, then it hits the market, and then like nothing happens. You've wasted all that time. So I'm very conscious now. Like, we've got something that I'm proud of, and we put a lot of time into. So now we're just going to like finalize it, and then we're going to launch. But equally, it also gives us a really clear roadmap in terms of the next stuff, right? The next things that we need to build into the product and the business moving forward. So not only do we need to manage the day-to-day when we have the business, normal business operations, finance, client success, all those sorts of things, and we need to sell, so we need to bring people into our business. We also need to really focus on the product itself to improve that and grow that over time. So there's like a version 2, a version 3, a version 4, a version 5, and more stuff coming into it. So my mind now moving forwards, it kind of like splits into 3 and goes, okay, well, we need to build product, and we need to continue to iterate and improve. We need normal business operations being taken care of, in terms of, like I just said, finance, client success, operational stuff. And equally, we need to sell, right? So I need, like, my mind now is like, okay, how do we look after those things? And the big one here, at least immediately, will be sales, because if we don't sell anything, then there's nothing to run, there's nothing to iterate and change. So, and I think this is something that a lot of business owners get stuck on, right? Or like, if you're like an owner operator at the moment, or you're running like an SME or whatever, the thing is like, you are operating, right? It's in the name, like, you're an owner operator. You are someone who is operating the business day to day. And when you're operating a business, very rarely do you have time to also focus on client acquisition, right? Selling, bring in new clients in, and you kind of like get wrapped up in the day to day. And, naturally clients will churn, or contracts will finish, or, you'll deliver a product or a service, and that's kind of it because of the business model. And then your pipeline's quite dry because you haven't given that side of the business attention. You kind of like flip between, right, I need to bring people in. Right now I need to deliver for them. Right now we need to make sure that now I've got no business. So 2 points really. One, for me, like, my mind is like, I'm going to be operating, I'm going to be building product. Yes, I love to sell, but there's probably things that I need to do before launching the business to make sure that we have that sales pipeline, really like pushing people into the company. The point there is, in terms of like advice or help or thought process or whatever, is that if you are operating the business and that's what you're good at, look at how you can have someone or something or some operation or machine to drive new business into the business, into your company, right? Like through the pipeline, so that you, like, if you are tied up doing that business operational stuff, whether that's fulfillment or product or whatever, you have like a healthy pipeline coming in, and therefore the business is growing, rather than sort of plateauing or churning people out straight away. Because I think that, and I talk to a lot of business owners day to day, and most people get in that like operation side of things and don't focus on the bringing people into the business. And it's not a case of you have to do that if you're the business owner, but someone has to, right? It needs to be some sort of function. And that's another video for another day, but just that's what's going through my mind at the moment, at least. So anyway, that's pretty much the end of the week. Yeah, I'm going to probably work into the early evening this evening, trying to tie the bits and pieces up. Next week, we've basically now set timelines, deadlines, to-do lists, etc. So we're pretty much now on the kind of like home straight to launch. As I am building that launch strategy, I'm going to try and document it. That may come out sort of after we launch, I'm not sure. But at least hopefully I can give you some sort of idea of what is going through my mind in terms of launching the business, the way that I'm going to do that, how, what, whatever. Because I think, again, like most people just go like, we do this, or like, let's launch, like, let's start today. And with this business, I'm going to put a bit more thought and strategy behind the actual launch itself. So I will try and document that as much as I possibly can, to maybe help you do the same one day. So anyway, that's it for this week. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm obviously I'm trying to document this, for me, because I want to watch this back in 12 months time. But if this is helping you, or there's tidbits of information, then that's good for me. Like, my YouTube channel is around helping business owners get more clients, make more money, and build better businesses. So like, if you're a business owner watching this and you want more clients, you want to make more money, or you want to build a better business, then subscribe to the channel. Or maybe you're just interested to see how this business goes and what I'm going to be doing. Equally, subscribe to the channel so you can see more of this sort of stuff. Anyway, I will see you later. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.